The Vox Markets Podcast with Justin Waite. Nothing in this podcast is intended as investment advice, and the people in this podcast may hold positions in the stocks they talk about. Do not buy anything based solely on a tip or recommendation. Please do your own research.
And joining me on the podcast right now is Neill Ricketts, CEO of Versarien. VRS is ticker. Neill, how you doing, fella?
Good morning. Yeah, it's great morning. Great morning.
Well, it's like we were talking 5 minutes ago because you were on Friday's podcast talking about the interims, and you say news is imminent. I didn't realise it was that close. But excellent, you've released an amazing RNS today, and we'll get that in a bit. Before we do, as always, I like to do this. I know you've only just been on, but there are people tuning in all the time, and so for them, Neill, give them a brief summary of what Versarien is all about, please. What's the company about?
Sure. This is an advanced materials company that I started in 2011. We've been growing very, very quickly. We floated on the AIM Stock Exchange 2013, and then we acquired two graphene businesses out of the University of Manchester and University of Cambridge. Since then, we've been developing this technology, and we're in a situation now where, as today, we can announce that we're working with some of the largest companies in the world. Yes.
Well, you've signed that way. You had a collaboration with a global sort of brand recently, and with an Israeli aerospace company. And now this one, the partner, a Fortune 100 company. I like these because obviously you're not allowed to reveal who they are, but I quite like the fact that it's a guessing game. But the fact is, they're a Fortune 100 company, which means they're a mega company. So take us through Go on.
It doesn't get any better than this, Justin. I mean, when you're the CEO of a company, and I've run a few companies before, these kind of things, you kind of don't think happen to ordinary companies like ours. And here we are, one of the largest companies in the world, knocking at the door of our Cheltenham HQ, asking us to work with them. What a fantastic indication of the potential this business has, that we can attract the attention of these mega companies, as you said.
Yeah, agreement with a global chemical major, whether it's the head. So explain what this collaboration means, what you're doing together, Neill.
Well, I mean, as we've spoken about on Friday, we're in a unique situation that we have this material which is now sort of quantified and verified and certified, using this independent data, and it's attracted the attention of these very large companies. And this particular agreement is extremely far-reaching. It has massive implications for a lot of the products that your readers and listeners will be using on a day-to-day basis. In terms of the significance of this, I spoke on Friday about these deals being transformational, the opportunities, and we still have a lot of work to do. There's no getting away from the fact that this isn't a done deal yet. But what a massive opportunity for this small British company to get onto the centre stage of the world.
Yeah, exactly. And how did you meet these guys then? What happened? Where did you? I mean, obviously you can't reveal who they are, but how did you meet these?
Well, we always talk about the fantastic links we've got with central government and with the various government bodies. The Department of International Trade, in this particular case, organised a meeting out in Brazil, and in the audience, whilst I was doing a speaking slot, was a representative from this large chemicals company. And we got talking, and it was obvious that we had a lot of interest, or aligned interest, shall we say. And as a result of that, it's taken us a while. These things don't happen overnight, unfortunately. They take a lot of work, and it takes a lot of patience. But here we are, dealing with their American HQ from that initial, meeting, which had an element of luck in it.
Yeah, so now you've got a global consumer brand you collaborate with, a global chemical company, a Fortune 100 company, that is, the Israeli aerospace industry there. And so can you take on any more? Is there any more in the pipeline? Are you likely to be releasing any more news before Christmas or not?
I'd love to be able to say that we were taking December off and that it was going to be feet up on the table and a few Christmas parties, but unfortunately we've cancelled them, and it's head down. Guys have been in Europe all this week making material, and there doesn't seem to be an end to it at the moment, which is a fantastic situation to be in. I did promise your readers that they would, or your listeners, that they would have a good Christmas, and I'm hoping that this will contribute a long way towards that. but in no way have we opened all the doors on the Advent calendar yet. And although we can't guarantee anything, it's always out of our control, we're working extremely hard to follow this up.
Yeah, but the thing is, like I've said before, once you start become the market leader, which you are, because for a while I was looking to get exposure to a graphene company, and I was, and I looked at your links with Manchester, of course, the creators of graphene, and Cambridge. They're also leading research in graphene, and now though it's snowballing, isn't it? Would it have this effect of because you are attracting these companies, more big companies will look you up, won't they?
Yeah, I mean, that is exactly the situation we find ourselves in. The other thing is, if you're a very large brand, it takes you a long time to get comfortable that we're a company to deal with. And we've gone a long way in making sure that we have a very creditable story. We have all of our data independently checked. We have these massive relationships with the government bodies. We have this £1 billion worth of assets around us that we didn't buy, that we have access to, and that means an awful lot to these big companies. The thing that your listeners will find interesting is that all of these releases that we've announced more recently are all related to our Nanene product, which, as you know, is a derivative of graphene. It's a very high quality graphene. And we're starting to see significant interest in our other products now, including the inks and so on. So, we're not a one-trick pony. We have multiple strands going. The team is stretched. We're working really, really hard. We're delivering good shareholder value. The share price is reacting to the good sentiment that's out there. We're going to continue with that. And as I said, we're not done yet. We've got huge opportunities in front of us, and we'll be working hard to ensure that those opportunities are delivered just as quickly as we can.
Yeah, I mean, share price, hitting close to all-time highs on Friday, and almost 4 times the average daily volume, and that's on a volume that's been increasing over the last few weeks, so it's doing very well. Yeah,
Friday was a good day for us. We smashed our highest ever valuation when the share price went through 60p, and it did fall back a little bit towards the end of the day, but that's what you would expect. We're there to, the market serves a purpose, and we don't hold that, from anybody. But again, what a fantastic situation to be in, where a couple of guys in the garage started a business 6 years ago, and now that business has a market cap of 60 or 70 million pounds.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. Well done, Neill. And listen, if anyone's listening to this right now and they're still not following the story on Vox Markets, of course, it's never too late. I mean, the graphene world has only just started. It's in its infancy. The world of Nanene, I should say, your branded graphene there. But if they're not following the story yet, give them 3 quick reasons, Neill, why they should hit that follow button on your page on Vox Markets, please.
Not a problem, Justin. I mean, this is getting easier and easier to do. The first thing is that we are able to demonstrate that we have significant traction in this brand new science of 2-dimensional materials. The second thing is that we're not a one-trick pony, that we have multiple strands running in multiple sectors, which means that the risk for our shareholders is greatly reduced. And the third thing is that, as we always talk about, I have significant skin in the game, and my interests are heavily aligned to those of the shareholders. And that means that we want to generate good shareholder value. Our recently announced results show that we don't waste money. We use our money very, very efficiently, and that we are starting to see a significant increase in our market cap as a result of all of that really, really good sentiment.
Marvellous, Neill. And I said this on Friday, but I said, listen, you sound very busy, so hopefully we'll chat in the not-too-distant future. And I don't mind if it's tomorrow, but listen, I didn't expect it to be on Monday after the Friday. But hopefully, Neill, we'll chat again very soon. Thank you very much for chatting to me.
Thank you very much, Justin. Always a pleasure.
The Vox Markets Podcast with Justin Waite. Nothing in this podcast is intended as investment advice, and the people in this podcast may hold positions in the stocks they talk about. Do not buy anything based solely on a tip or recommendation. Please do your own research.